All right, everybody, welcome back to the Truth Seeking Network once again. So today, maybe this weekend, will Bitcoin cross $100,000? So far, I think the high today is $99,800. $99,800. And here we are about to hit that century mark, that $100,000 mark. Now, it is significant, but it's not significant. Because like I said in my previous videos, Bitcoin is programmed to be in the millions of dollars per Bitcoin. And we are now approaching that $100,000 mark as we speak. Will it hit it today, sometime tonight, or will it this weekend cross $100,000 per coin, per Bitcoin? You know, it's been a long time. It's been 15 years, and that's really not a long time. It's been the number one asset in the whole world, and it's taken over every other asset in the world so far, and it's moving right up the ladder. And I've been putting out videos basically on Bitcoin, and and there are also other cryptos, like Solana. There's Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, and other cryptos as well. But my main focus right now is on Bitcoin, and the reason why I focus on Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is rare. Bitcoin is a asset that there won't be no more made. So those who have it will have it, and those who don't won't. And that's going to be the bottom line. And the wealth transfer is taking place right in front of our faces as we speak. But most people are not paying attention to it. And it's very sad because, you know, we went from analog to digital. And to me, everything is not by accident. Okay, all the technology is all it does is keep evolving. Y'all remember we had the pagers to the flip phones, right? They took away all the phone booths. Why? Because they want to make sure everybody had a cell phone so they can track and trace everywhere you go. I mean, it's not accidental. And you went from paper checks to direct deposit. It's not accidental. And so I don't understand how people do not pay attention like what's really happening right now. We going into a digital age. The paper dollars will be gone soon, and everything will be digital. Everything will be digital. And Bitcoin is a type of digital dollar. It's not a CBDC. It's not a central banker's digital currency, but this is a freedom coin. This is the coin that most people will not have. And by the time they find out, I did a video called the Digital Gold Rush. And the digital gold rush is taking place right now, and most people do not see it. Bitcoin, people were hating on Bitcoin, like Charlie Munger, of course, he passed away. Uh, uh, Dave Ramsey, um, Warren Buffett. A lot of people that used to hate on Bitcoin are now embracing Bitcoin because once they find out and they can see what it really is. So Bitcoin is definitely on the move as we speak. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to answer a quick phone call. But anyway, basically what I'm saying is that now a lot of these Wall Street and a lot of people who are now hating on Bitcoin are not embracing Bitcoin. Even Michael Saylor in the beginning wasn't into Bitcoin. But after he saw the technology, after looking at the white paper and reading it, he understood it. And now so many people are now embracing it. Countries around the world are embracing it. Governments are embracing it. But the question is, are you embracing it? And so that's why I make these videos. And unfortunately, I'm not getting many views on it, but that's okay. I'm gonna still keep putting these videos out, whether I get the views or not, because this is an archive, you know? So I better look back and show you that over the past years, I've been telling you to get in Bitcoin, when it was 15, 16, 17,000 down there, and nobody listened. Well, I don't know if nobody, I'm sure somebody may have listened. And even if it's just one person listening, that's fine. If somebody listened to this channel, and this is the Truth Seeking Network, and what I aim on this channel is to tell the truth on different subjects, on different things, not just gardening, not just gold panning and stuff like that. But I'm just showing you ways that you can find gold. I show you good ways you're gonna invest in your money. And I'm gonna do stock market videos with companies later on as well. I'm also gonna be dealing with current events and what's going on. So that's why it's a truth seeking network. And I'm just here to try to tell the truth. The best of my ability, I'm gonna tell the truth on this channel. And what I've been telling you about is Bitcoin. Whether people watch the videos or not, I'm still gonna put it out there. But right now, the wealth transfer is taking place. And if you're not involved in Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, some of these digital currencies, this is a brand new asset class. This is something that hasn't happened in hundreds of years, y'all. We actually have a brand new asset class, and this is the beginning of it. And most people are missing what's really happening right now. Now, Bitcoin is approaching the $100,000 mark. And you don't need to buy a full Bitcoin. But right now, I will say this, it is too late for the average American, for the average person now to purchase a full Bitcoin. Unless you got a lot of money, you're rich, you got $100,000 or $99,000 right now. Can you go out there and buy you a full Bitcoin? And would you in the first place? Because most people would take that money and probably do other things with it. But I'm here to tell you that this Bitcoin is the new digital asset, the reserve currency probably of the world. And you have an opportunity to get in on it right now, just like the beginning of the internet. You have an opportunity to get in still. It is not too late. It's called Bitcoin, like I say in my past videos, because you can buy pieces of the coin. You don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. And a full Bitcoin, well, you don't need a full Bitcoin to become rich in the future. You just can dollar cost average into this Bitcoin right now, and it's called Satoshis. And you'll get Satoshis. And you keep dollar cost averaging into it, and you'll get these Satoshis. All you have to do is sign up with Coinbase, Kraken, Crypto.com, Robinhood, any of these Binance US. You can buy any of these exchanges. There's more exchanges than that you can buy your crypto from. You sign up, you go through their KYC, and next thing you know, you can actually start buying the Bitcoin. You can start buying into cryptos now before the majority of people FOMO into it when they realize that they should have been into it a long time ago. And that will happen. That will take place. It's going to be like a gold rush, and everybody's going to want to get in. And by the time they're getting in, you want to be in before this happens because they're going to push that price way up once they understand what this really is. And most people kind of joke around. You tell people, I've told many people about it, and maybe one or two listened. And for those one or two people, they're happy. Actually, it's more than one or two, maybe more like 10 people, I guess, that I know of that actually listened. But the majority of people didn't. And now they come around asking me, asking me now, wait, what's going on? This Bitcoin, I see this thing going. What's going on with that? And when I tried to tell them when it was down, nobody wanted to buy into it because I saw that thing's going to zero. It's funny money. That no, I ain't putting my money on, man. So I ain't messing with that. No, 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 no. I ain't messing with that. Nah, they laughing. And then you get a whole group of people laughing at you. And you're trying to tell them, hey, this is going to be the future. And it is. Wall Street is embracing it. Every day is on CNBC, right across the screen. You go to Fox News, Fox Business. You can go to Bloomberg. It's all across the screen. It's right there in front of you. All you have to do is just go look to see if I'm telling you the truth or not. But at the same token, most people won't. And so all I can say is I tried. Now it's about to approach $100,000 per Bitcoin. And it's still, I'm telling you right now, it's still early. And it's not early, but it's still not too late for you to dollar cost average and get a bunch. Because right now, Bitcoin is 3.25 Bitcoins. I think it's something like that. Maybe I could be off. But the next halving, that's gonna cut that 3 to 1 Bitcoin in something. And that halving after that, it's gonna be fractions of a Bitcoin that's gonna be mined. And all these miners around the world are gonna be trying to mine this Bitcoin and get that fraction of a Bitcoin at that time. But here's the point. How much was that fraction going to be worth if everybody around the world is mining it and they trying to get that piece of that Bitcoin? How much is it going to be worth? In order for those miners to make money, it's got to be high. It's got to be in the millions for everybody to try to get a piece of that. Or some people who get their mining code right will get a piece of that Bitcoin. So it's got to be a high price. And right now, it's happening. Right now, you still have time to get in. I think it's going to go past 100 and it might come back down. Bitcoin gyrates. It may do up 20%, it may come back 20%. But if it comes back down, that is your opportunity to not get scared and sell out. That is your opportunity to buy in, to get more at a lower price, because that's what you want to do. Countries, governments, businesses, average people are getting into the Bitcoin. And this is not a US thing. This is worldwide. Russia is mining it. China is mining this. El Salvador is mining it. All these countries, and there are a lot of people, there are a lot of rich people that are buying it secretly. And so, all I'm trying to get y'all, and I really want the average person to get into it. But like I said, the views are low, and that's fine. I'm gonna keep putting the information out. Okay, so now we're gonna take a picture of this video right here. We're gonna actually take a picture of it. We're gonna actually listen to this video, and then I'm gonna show you what the price is right now of Bitcoin.
And Bitwise CEO Hunter Horsley reacts to the crypto market rally. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto markets mostly in the green this morning. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin climbed nearly 2% to $99,000. Earlier, the token was less than $500 away from hitting $100,000. Ether dipped less than 1% and was trading at $3,200, and Ripple's XRP spiked 32% as investors anticipated a friendlier regulatory environment for digital assets next year. XRP was one of the biggest gainers yesterday in a broad altcoin rally fueled by news that the SEC Chair Gary Gensler will step down on Inauguration Day. Gensler, of course, has become something of a villain in crypto, which has been held back by his regulation by enforcement approach to the industry. For the week, Bitcoin gained more than 8.5% and Ether more than 7.5%. XRP surged 67%. The S&P 500, by contrast, was up 1.5%. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Shares of the Bitcoin proxy MicroStrategy were down 16% yesterday at closing. The same day, Citron Research revealed a short position on the company, saying that while it remains bullish on Bitcoin, MicroStrategy's volume has completely detached from the flagship cryptocurrency's fundamentals. The firm's executive chair, Michael Saylor, joined Squawk Box this morning to address the short.
I think that the thesis of the shorts is if the premium in the equity disappears, we can't make money. What they miss is that when we actually borrow money at 6% and we invest it in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin goes up 30%, and by the way, Bitcoin's going up 60%, we're getting a 90% BTC spread, but it would be 80% BTC spread, which means the $3 billion fixed income raise in preferreds or bonds generates the same $125 a share and $30 billion over 10 years.
Now, as of noon Eastern, MicroStrategy made up some of its losses and was up more than 9%. Year to date, the company has surged 590%, far outperforming Bitcoin, which is up around 130% through that same period. Next, Bitwise has entered the race to list a spot Solana ETF. The crypto asset manager filed an S1 with the SEC yesterday, following other asset managers that took that initiative earlier this year, including VanEck and Canary Capital. Solana was flat as of noon Eastern, trading at less than 0.1%. All right, sticking with Bitwise for our main story, I spoke with its CEO, Hunter Horsley, to get his take on the crypto rally and if there could be a correction coming. All right, Hunter, thank you so much for joining me today. Let me just get your general reaction to start on this rally that we've seen since Election Day.
It's extraordinary. I think that this year we will look back on as the end of a prior chapter for the space, which has been around for almost 16 years now and is familiar to people, but has sort of been over in the distance. And I think 2024 is the year that, I like to think of it as Bitcoin IPOing and entering the mainstream. And I think the election has also encouraged people around the constructive regulatory outlook on the space. And I think this rally is expressing that optimism about the story ahead and the mainstream nature of that story. So I think it's just getting going, and I think it's the start of a new chapter.
Talk to me about $100,000 as a benchmark or as like a psychological level. What sort of happens next year? Obviously, the outlook is very, very bullish. There's a ton to look forward to in 2025. But what happens, if or when we get that 100K? Where do we go from there in the short term?
Much higher is my my outlook. Our CIO Matt Haugen has specific analysis on price targets. I think as a firm, we think that Bitcoin can work its way towards achieving $1 million a coin, but that'll take some time. I think in the immediate term, what we see from clients, so we serve over 4,000 U.S. wealth management firms, family offices, multifamily offices. We serve 19 banks and broker-dealers. We serve a very broad cross-section of investors. And I think the moment that we witness in conversations right now is exemplified by an email that we got last week from an advisor. The subject line just read, "It's time." And the content of the email was, "I want to build a 1% allocation to Bitcoin." And so I think what 100,000 is going to represent to a lot of investors is Bitcoin has arrived and it's now time to engage. And while for some people who I think have been in the space for a long time, and Bitwise has been around for 7 years, it may feel like, how could this be the beginning of the journey? But I do think for the next chapter and the mainstream chapter, 100,000 will represent Bitcoin has arrived, it's valid, it's available, and it's time to participate. And I think as a result of that and the supply-demand dynamics, Bitcoin will be headed much higher.
Do you see a correction coming? We had Mike Novogratz from Galaxy on our air saying that might be possible. Obviously, corrections are normal, especially when you hit a big level like 100K, and it has happened with Bitcoin's previous records where you look at what happened earlier this year in March. We hit it and then kind of pulled back for a while there. Do you see a similar thing playing out possibly?
I think the safest bet in crypto is volatility. And so, yes, I think it will not be a smooth one directional line moving at the, sort of the same rate every day. I do think that there will be big moves up and retracements. But of course, for the investor who's taking a longer term outlook, I think that will sum up to higher levels. So yes, I think there will be volatility. I think there will be ups and downs day to day, but I think the trend line is that the world is valuing Bitcoin more and more highly, as well as other crypto assets.
Let me turn this around to you, my representative right now for the asset management industry. What, you called it sort of the year of Bitcoin IPOing. You guys have had a very big role in that. So we're almost at the end of the year. So in hindsight, how did it go? And what is the outlook for crypto asset managers into 2025?
Yeah, it's been extraordinary for Bitcoin and crypto. It's been an extraordinary year for our clients, and it's also been an extraordinary year for Bitwise. Today, Bitwise manages more in crypto assets than almost any firm in the world. We have more than 11 billion in client assets, which has 10x'd over the course of this year. We're managing one of the largest Bitcoin ETFs in the US, the largest Bitcoin ETP in Europe, the largest crypto index fund, a leading multi-strategy solution, separately managed accounts. And I think, moreover, what it represents is that in this moment, a lot of investors are saying, we want to participate. We want a partner who's been focused on the space for 7 years, like Bitwise has, and who can help us have the flexibility to access the parts of the opportunity set that we want to come into. So it's been a very exciting year in that we're seeing clients finding what we do very useful, and also, you know, we're not an equity or fixed income manager that's also interested in crypto. We are a specialist alternative manager for this asset class, and I would say it's also exciting to us as stewards who are hoping to foster the development of this asset class, to see clients entrusting us as their partner in the space, because that empowers us to do more to cultivate the space. For instance, with our Bitcoin ETF, we donate 10% of gross profits to open source Bitcoin developers who maintain the open source software. So, you know, I think all of us here at Bitwise, it's 95 people across San Francisco, New York, and London, are very excited about what we're seeing from clients this year. And it really has been a remarkable year for the space, for clients, and for Bitwise.
I do want to double click on your role as a specialist. I have been talking with you guys for years, and you've been talking about crypto for years. And I'm wondering how you see your standing as an issuer of a Bitcoin ETF alongside giants like BlackRock or Fidelity, especially because when we talk about institutional interest and the demand for ETFs, we really kind of talk about that as a large umbrella, but you are very specialist. So how do you stand against the BlackRock and the ETF of the space, the BlackRock and the Fidelity of the space? And as we go into a very crypto forward 2025 in the US, how's that going to benefit you guys?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's never felt more productive to me. You know, for the longest time, the challenge for many investors is comfort with the asset class. And I think the amazing place that we're at in 2024 is you have the largest institutional asset manager in the world by far in BlackRock endorsing the space. You have Fidelity, an incredibly large traditional institutional asset manager. And I think, like many alternative asset classes, there's a barbell that makes sense to investors. Some want to go with, you know, the firms that are the most trusted names in asset management, and others want to go with an asset class specialist. You could think about in credit, there are solutions from BlackRock, and there are also solutions from Apollo and Ares. In private equity, there are solutions from BlackRock, and there are also solutions from KKR and Carlyle and TPG. And so I think the feedback we've gotten from a lot of our clients is they see both ends of that barbell as compelling, and we're grateful when an investor wants to work with a specialist, that many of them are choosing Bitwise. I think having access to both options enables more and more investors to participate and find the solution that's best for them. And I'm incredibly optimistic about the role that Bitwise can play and the role that BlackRock will continue to play. I think it's never been more productive for the space to have these options available to investors who want to participate.
Okay, that's all.
All right, y'all. So y'all see, the Bitcoin is now in the institutional realm. They're buying it up there. Everybody is now getting out on a Bitcoin. And this is a brand new asset class. And I hope y'all understanding like what's really taking place at this time. There's a wealth transfer that's taking place, and Bitcoin is near 100,000. It's been a while, but we finally getting to this $100,000 point. And you hear what he said. Basically, this is like an IPO. An IPO, for those who don't know, it's initial public offering. That's what happens when the stock it first comes on to the public to be, for the public to buy into it. Before that, the stock is private. Only private institutional investors can get into the company and own shares. But once it goes public, at the initial public offering, then the public can now start buying into the shares. And that's what he's saying. Right now, this is like 2024 is like the initial public offering of Bitcoin to the world because now it's becoming mainstream and people are now starting to understand it. But unlike a stock, you could have bought Bitcoin for the last 15 years. You could have been buying into it all the time. But don't let this moment pass by. So I advise you to please to get inside of it, get some now before it's too late. Because Bitcoin is going a lot higher. Okay, y'all. So here we are on the page with Bitcoin, and you can see the price of it right now. It's fluctuating. Right now it's at between 99,000, a little over 99,000 right now. But you can see right here today, the high was $99,860. So basically like $140 away from the all-time high of actually hitting $100,000. Now, at some point, it's going to go over that. It's going to go past that. So it's fluctuating right now between that. The low was $97,209. And hopefully that's what you actually would want. You would want it to be on the low where you can get some on the low side because you can actually buy more at that point. But you can see Bitcoin is on the move. And as I stated earlier, the $100,000 mark, I think when it hits $100,000, it's going to be across all the news stations. Bitcoin crossed 100,000. It might be on the news stations now, the regular news stations. It might be on your radio station, your local radio station. Bitcoin approaches when they talk about investment news or what's going on in the markets. They might also start talking about Bitcoin. And people are going to be shocked to hear that it's close to $100,000 per coin. And this price is going up. And as I've been stating this whole time, to get in when it was 15, 16,000, I was telling you to get into it, start buying it. And a lot of people actually ran from the market because when the prices go down, people started to run, and then there was all this fear mongering out there saying it was going to zero. But people like me on my channel, and there's a lot of people who were saying, hey, that was a buying opportunity. That was a gift. I know a lot of people that I said, people told me that, hey, then you got lucky because you bought Bitcoin at this price or that price. Well, it actually dropped, and now they had an opportunity to get in. And I'm so happy for the people who did buy. I'm so happy for them. But right now, it's approaching the weekend. It's about almost 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, and this is the price of Bitcoin right now. So it's moving, and I just hoping that y'all would try to get in and listen to these videos and listen to what I've stated because, like I said, I'm not trying to steer you wrong, but for the average person, if you don't want to be average, if you want to get out of average, then you want to start investing into a new asset class, the beginning of a new asset class. Like I said, this is the beginning. It's like the beginning of the internet. All those companies like Apple, Amazon, and all these great companies that you wish you could have got. Wouldn't you like to have gotten shares of these companies early on? Just imagine where you would be right now. You wouldn't be working a 9 to 5, right? You would be one of the wealthy people. And what you had to do, all you had to do was buy into the company early on and just hold those shares. That's all. That was all you had to do on your part. Just hold those shares. And those shares would have made you wealthy just by holding those shares. You could have went on the rest of your life and did what you wanted to do. But all you had to do was just hold those shares and you could have been wealthy. All right. So this is the Truth Seeker Network. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace till next time. And I'm out.